Like one of the things we didn't do much of when I was there, we didn't practice 2 minute really. We didn't practice red zone.
What?
So
It was the most
yeah.
important
What?
thing
What?
part since Big Red. That's
Yeah,
what
we
you
used
yeah.
to
do in
have
a
a
good
whole
football
a
game.
whole day devoted for 2 minute in
Yeah.
red zone. That's Thursday
Like
practice.
you didn't practice on Fridays there, but you walk
What?
through like you walk through the red zone stuff, and then Saturday you come out and practice red zone, but you only get like 15 live reps in.
So I know Matt Rhule is not the most pleasant or ideal topic to discuss when it comes to Panthers fans because we moved on to bigger and better things with Frank Wright and this loaded, experienced coaching staff. But what's some comments today from an interview by one of the current Panthers players about Matt Rhule's tenure and just the development of some of the guys on the team? It can't be ignored, and we have to discuss it because Tommy Tremble did an interview with the Charlotte Observer and he had a sound bite that was crazy. And shout out to Mike K from the Charlotte Observer. He gets credit for this interview, but the quote read as follows. This is the first time that we've really been coached up receiving wise, other than just trying to figure it out on our own. Trimble said in the phone interview with the Observer on Tuesday, this is really the first opportunity we've had to excel in the receiving game and having points and actually receive teaching points on how to attack this kind of leverage, this kind of defense. Before it was more, you just run it, you run what's on the paper, and you try to make it work. And if it didn't work, you try to figure it out yourself. This is a pretty wild quote because I feel like a coach's job is to coach the players. Like if you're not coaching the players, what are you doing? Are you just supervising this group? Are you just sitting here collecting a paycheck? What are you doing? And with Matt Rhule being the head guy, I've heard of some guys empowering their assistants more so and giving them more responsibility, but this is crazy. So in this video right here, we're going to talk about everything with this quote and what this may mean for the Panthers' current roster and some of the moves that this current coaching staff might have made based on some of these observations that we've gotten and information that we got from Tommy Tremble. We're starting right now. What up, dude? My name is Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Blunt, the Sports Talk, bringing you recap and analysis of the Carolina Panthers here. So make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell icon if you want to see more videos like this. I got film breakdowns, I got live streams. I do Panthers news today on Monday, whether it's a live stream or a video. All kind of crazy stuff going on this channel, man. So make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell icon. That way you get a notification every time I drop a video. And also give this video a thumbs up as well because it doesn't cost you a thing. Only takes 2 seconds, and I really appreciate it. It helps me out in the algorithm. So by no means is Tommy Tremble just an outspoken guy like that. And we haven't really got a lot of information about the prior coaching staff from a lot of players. Professionalism from them has been great. Yes, we did hear about Teddy Bridgewater, and I played that clip earlier. But when he made that comment, a lot of fans in the fan base really went at Teddy, mainly because they didn't like Teddy Bridgewater just in general. Now, Teddy Bridgewater had the most unfavorable position ever. He had the job of following up a franchise icon in Cam Newton. So a lot of the stuff that Teddy didn't really go over too well with the fans, even though he's probably the best quarterback we've had on this roster since then, quiet as kept. Regardless, when he talked about the red zone struggles and them not practicing red zone, it didn't make sense because it just seemed unfathomable that a head coach who's paid that much money, who's supposed to know what they're doing, would actually be so incompetent to the point that they would only train red zone on walkthroughs and 2-minute drill and other scenarios as well. But the proof is in the pudding. The Panthers have 4 yardage players on their team. When you have all those yards, but you're still not putting up points, that tells me that you're moving the ball between the 20s, but the red zone is not working. And that's what showed his head. Now, Tommy Tremble making these comments about them not getting a lot of receiving feedback makes a lot of sense as well because the Panthers tight end group has been the least productive tight end group in the NFL over the past 3 seasons. And it's not even close because Tommy Tremble, unfortunately, when he came out of school, he needed a lot more, I guess, fine-tuning in terms of the receiving game. He's a great blocker. People saw the athleticism, the toughness, the ability and willingness to block, but they saw that, hey, there may be some upside on tight ends because in the NFL, a lot of times tight ends take a couple years to kind of develop, and we've seen tight ends that didn't get opportunities in college really blossom, almost like a George Kittle type of guy like that. So we thought that there was potential for Tommy Tremble to actually take a step forward, but that really hasn't been the case there. We've seen flashes ever so often, but a tight end was never really featured in any of these offenses under Joe Brady or Ben McAdoo. Now, what is the reasoning for this? Is this a chicken and the egg thing? Is like we don't go to the tight end position because they weren't that good per se, or we just didn't really care about the tight end position in these offenses, so we didn't bother coaching them up. I don't know. But it seemed like a lot of the guys that Matt Rhule hired as assistants after that first year, they jumped ship. Why would you jump ship after 1 year in the NFL? It seemed like most of these guys might have been using this to boost their resumes or to just make money and the nepotism of climbing that coaching ladder. It's all about who knows who anyway. So I get it. Matt Rhule bringing his homeboys with him to try to boost their chances because we lost a lot of coaches that were just almost random. What comes to mind me as a South Carolina Gamecock fan is Marcus Satterfield. Marcus Satterfield was an assistant O-line coach for the Carolina Panthers in Matt Rhule's first year, but ended up getting hired as South Carolina's offensive coordinator. That's a big jump in my opinion, but a lot of these guys probably always had intentions of going back to college anyway, but they knew a year in the pros, you can collect some money and you can boost that resume, can get you there. I don't want to question their intentions, but it's just damning of a quote by Tommy Tremble. And like I said, it's not really a hot take by Tommy because that's not his style. So I don't want to just say like he's exposing him or he was trying to throw shade at Matt Rhule, but it's just a sad truth. And what does that mean for the rest of these guys on this team? Because there's a lot of guys who have shown potential that could have some upside. Yes, we have J.C. Horn and Derek Brown who have kind of taken their steps up, but I feel like their talent was just so good that it was undeniable that they were going to be a good player on this level. But with proper coaching, they could be even further places. We saw Derek Brown take a couple years to kind of break through, but he finally did when he was used properly. They tried to make him lose weight. They tried to make him gain weight, change his game a little bit. They finally was able to get him in a space where he can actually operate, and Derek Brown has really come into his own, where PFF has ranked him as the number 11 interior defensive lineman. So you just see guys being all over the place, and with other guys that could potentially break out who are there, because this new staff did not make a ton of moves. There was a lot of meat on the bones here, and even with the change of coaching with Steve Wilkes from Matt Rhule, you can see the stark difference from guys on this team getting more playing time, like Terrace Marshall Jr., Chuba Hubbard, Deontay Foreman, who barely even saw the field when Matt Rhule was the coach initially. So you see what happens and how big of a significant jump coaching can do for a roster. So what does that mean now? Because like I said, they didn't bring in a whole new guys. That means they have a lot of confidence in these guys on this team. Now, when you hear about people like, oh, we need to upgrade the edge position, maybe our coaches feel like the edge guys that we have, whether it's a Haynes or it's a YGM or it's a Barno, really haven't been used properly, haven't been coached properly, and they can get more out of them to the point that they don't feel like they need to spend big bucks on a big defensive end or edge guy coming out there. Who knows? It's just so frustrating because there are a lot of talented fringe guys that have showed flashes that just haven't had the consistency. And when that lack of consistency lets me know that they're maybe not getting coached up on the proper things, they're not being put in the right positions. I'm thinking Jeremy Chin, who's being all over the place. I'm thinking of Keith Taylor that showed some flashes as a rookie, but taking some steps back, of course. Thinking of YGM, who's been a solid run defender, but has never really put together any kind of pass rush moves or packages to be able to be a consistent edge. So hopefully these guys that we have now that we spent all this big money on to bring in to help coach can bring out the best in these guys, and we can actually see some of the fruits of the labor of these guys come to fruition, because I do think there's a lot of talent. At worst, they're great role players and depth pieces. At best, we could have a ton of guys here for breakout seasons. Tommy Tremble, Terrace Marshall. I'm looking those two guys for a breakout year because these are guys that we've been clamoring for and who, outside of this organization, were pretty highly rated. Terrace Marshall Jr. was rated as a first-round grade. It was just the injuries. We took him in the second, but we've never seen that. And then there's been trade rumors and all that because he's never really broken out. And how many times have we seen guys leave our team and go to other teams and just excel? It happens every time because coaching matters, guys. So now that we have good coaches, this is a relief to feel that we could possibly get the best out of these guys in development, because drafting guys and playing on game day is only part of it. You have to put in the work with these guys and help develop them. Don't just leave them to be self-accountable and figure it out. How can rookie players figure it out? Tommy Tremble was a rookie. How was he supposed to just figure it out on his own? Especially without any kind of veteran in the room, especially with Ian Thomas not being a big receiving threat as well. Who was going to help him figure it out, if not the coaches? It's just frustrating to hear, guys, but it is what it is. I am glad Matt Rhule is gone, but the fact that he got so much money and still didn't have really hold himself accountable after the fact, it's just a testament to what kind of guy he is, and it is what it is. Better days are ahead for us. But you guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about Tommy Tremble's comments, and who do you think could really have a breakout under these new coaches that really kind of got behind the 8 ball with this previous coaching staff under Matt Rhule. I'm really wanting to see who you guys think could take a big jump and be an impact player for us this year. So without further ado, my name is Aaron Duncan here with the necessary blunt and sports talk. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I will see you in the next video. Peace.